Hey, what's up, Skewbers? This is Joe, and today I have a tutorial on how to solve the Skewb using beginner's method. Okay, so there's a lot of great things about Skewb. One of them is that you can solve the entire puzzle with just one algorithm. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. Skewb is a relatively easy puzzle. It only has 4 axes of rotation, and so I mean, in a way, it's like pyramids. It has very little ways to move, and it's pretty simple to figure out overall. The first thing I will say, if you haven't gotten familiar with your Skewb, please go ahead and do that before you watch this tutorial, because if I'm trying to explain, how to move a piece kind of intuitively, and you still don't know how this puzzle turns, you'll be confused. And there's really nothing I can do in a tutorial to help you with that. You just need to kind of mess around with it on your own and feel how it moves. So the one algorithm you need to solve this puzzle is called sledgehammer. And I will have a link in the description down there. I already have made a tutorial on how you execute sledgehammer. It's a really simple 4-move algorithm. I'll go over it briefly in this tutorial when we get into it, but I'm not going to go into that right now. If you want to see that, go ahead and watch it. It'll be down there. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and hand scramble this. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, just for convenience sake, I'm going to start with the white as our base. Alright, so just like Rubik's Cube, if you know how to solve that, Rubik's Cube, you start by doing a cross. With Skewb, you start by solving one side, so almost more like 2 by 2. So the goal here is to pull down all the white corners to these spots, look, these locations right here. You're trying to solve this side. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to look for a white piece that will be easy to insert, and I see this one because I know that if I turn this face, I will rotate this white piece down into that slot right there. Okay? Now, right here I have a kind of weird case where all the other white pieces are down in the bottom, but that's not a problem because I can just rotate them out like this. Alright, now we have it up here. And again, you see now it's in line to be rotated down here. And we do that, and it works. Alright? And what I mean by that is that these colors are the same. Let me show you incorrect. This is incorrect. See, we have orange and we have red. That's not okay. Alright, so we have the 2 whites here, but these don't match up. We need to have both colors match up. And it's pretty easy to do this. There's not a whole lot of different variations or ways to mess this up, but sometimes it does happen. Just be sure as you're going that these colors are the same. Alright, so now you have to intuitively insert the other ones. And I'm just going to show you real quick how I might do that. Here's one that needs to be inserted in the same spot, actually, since you see it has blue, so it should be right here. I'm going to bring it out away from the white center, kind of towards the top. Alright, now you notice that it doesn't insert correctly. Alright, so I'm going to show you what you can do to make it so that it does insert correctly. Assuming that you have nothing here, you can rotate this layer like that and reposition this so that you can insert it like that. And again, this might be a little bit complicated for you if you're just learning, but if you take the time to kind of play around with your Skewb and figure out how it moves and understand where the axes are, then it will make a lot more sense. And here's the last one. This is where you actually might need might get a little bit confused. This piece right here can't be inserted, and so we have to, like I did before, change the axis to insert it. But in doing so, we mess this piece up. That doesn't matter because it's being stored off to the side, and after we've changed this piece's orientation, we insert it, we can just go ahead and bring that one back down again. Alright, so this is the goal right here. This is what it's supposed to look like when you're done. Alright, we have all these colors the same, all lined up, nice like that, and the white side is solved. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, so what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to put the opposite color on top. Now, if you don't know your color schemes, not a big deal. Skewb doesn't really require you to know that, but if you start on white, you should know that the opposite is yellow. So I'm going to look for the yellow center, which is right here, and with it facing me, I'm going to execute sledgehammer once. Alright, so here I'll show it to you, and for convenience sake, I'm just going to describe it to you rather than give you notation because of how I hold it. If you need notation, then that will be in the other video that I mentioned in the beginning. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go down to the right, down to the left, up on the right side, up on the left side. Okay, so it's kind of like a down, down, up algorithm. Alright, and you'll notice that moved our yellow piece up to the top. That's exactly what we wanted. Alright, and now there's two cases you can get. There's one case where you have a stripe like this, and then there's the other case that you saw where there's nothing, no yellow corners on top. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. So these are pretty easy to recognize, right? This is orientation. If you have a stripe, like two opposite corners aligned, then you want to start so that you have a yellow facing you on your left side. Not this one. This is incorrect. You want to be holding it in this position, and you want to execute sledgehammer twice now. Okay, twice. So let's go ahead and do that. Sorry, I should be going slower. Down, down, up, up. Alright? And once you do that, you'll notice that it changes our case to the one where no yellows are on top. That's good. That's what we want. Okay? And once you have that, or if you skip the first part and you ended up with this as soon as you solve the white side, you're going to hold it so that you have one and only one yellow piece facing towards you on the right side. Alright, so the opposite of the other case. Alright, I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like on the other sides. But this is how you should be holding it. And now, to solve this, you execute sledgehammer twice. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Okay? And that will solve the top layer every time. Alright? And so, the last step, step 3, is pretty simple. Okay? It's basically the centers around the equator not being solved. And as you can see, none of them are. Sometimes you'll get a case with one, and that will make it easier, but I'm glad we got this case because now I can show you the way you would do it in the harder case. Alright, so basically you're going to hold it. Now instead of having white on bottom, yellow on top like before, you're going to rotate it so that the equator is now the middle. So the incorrect centers go around like this. Okay, and now since all four corners are incorrect, you can go ahead and do this algorithm from any position. Doesn't matter how you hold it. So you're going to face one of these sides, and you're going to do sledgehammer once, rotate the cube 180 degrees, and do sledgehammer once. Alright, so I'll show you. Sledgehammer, rotate 180 degrees, and sledgehammer. Okay, and now you'll notice, see we still have the white side and the yellow side solved. Now we have one solved face. Alright, so we have 3 incorrect. See, there we go. 3 incorrect. Okay, now this last part of this step is pretty easy. You're going to keep that the solved side on the bottom. Alright, you have your two sides that you started on either side like this. Alright, and you'll notice the top color. Okay, the top center. Top center is red. Okay, and the corners indicate which side it is. So the red won't go down here because this is orange, but the red will go down here because these are red. Alright, and so you're going to do the same algorithm holding it in this position. Okay, so the red is on top and it's going to go down here. So you're going to do sledgehammer once, rotate 180 degrees, and do sledgehammer once. And that should solve it every time. Okay? If you were confused at any part of this tutorial, please leave a comment down below. Politely, please. I know YouTube gets crazy in the comments. please leave a comment down below so we can address that, and if we have to, then we can make another tutorial kind of specifying that part. But basically, the beginner's method is very simple. You only need to know one algorithm, and that's really incredible. So hopefully with this tutorial you'll be able to solve the Skewb pretty easily, and that'll get you a feel for how, you know, the Skewb kind of moves around and determine, you know, your turning style. And eventually, once you get that all under control, then you can move on to more complicated methods for solving it really fast. Okay, but I learned this beginner's method. Actually, I made this one, but Skewb is so simple that it's the general method as well. That's how I figured out how to solve it, is I found one algorithm that did something and I just kept repeating it until I figured out what it did. Anyway, that's how I learned to solve it. It's a cool beginner's method, really easy to learn. Hope that tutorial was pretty clear, and hope you guys learned a lot from it. So until next time, keep on skewbing. See you in the next video, guys.